Days before the so-called United Opposition meeting in the national capital, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal tried to rally opposition leaders for his campaign against the Government of India's ordinance pertaining to the control of administrative services in New Delhi. The National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Ordinance was issued to create a National Capital Civil Service Authority post the centre's appeal to the Supreme Court for a review of its May 11 verdict, which granted administrative service control in the National Capital Territory to the Government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi. The ordinance grants the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi executive authority concerning matters related to transfer, posting, vigilance, and other service-related aspects of bureaucrats within the Delhi government. Following the promulgation of the ordinance, Kejriwal launched a scathing misinformation campaign against the union government, calling the ordinance unconstitutional and asserting that other states would meet a similar fate. Nonetheless, the facts reveal a contrasting reality, debunking Kejriwal's fabricated narrative. Due to its status as the capital, the Constitution of India confers a unique position to Delhi, granting it special status instead of full statehood. As the city's governance directly affects the nation's welfare, it gives Delhi a hybrid or quasi-state status. In the event of a conflict between laws passed by the Assembly and Parliament, the centre's overriding powers give precedence to the latter. Hence, the Government of India's jurisdiction to enact laws governing the operations of the Delhi government is constitutional and not in contempt. Additionally, the Constitution bestows special powers upon the Lieutenant Governor of the National Capital Territory of Delhi, including the ability to dissent from the Chief Minister or the Council of Ministers, which is not granted to any governor of a state. On the other hand, in an attempt to shape a narrative of conflict between the centre and the Supreme Court, Kejriwal went as far as accusing the ordinance of being in contempt of the apex court.
एक तरह से सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जजमेंट दिया, क्लियर जजमेंट दिया कि दिल्ली की चुनी हुई सरकार को पूरा अधिकार है दिल्ली चलाने का, 3 सब्जेक्ट्स छोड़ के, पुलिस, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर एंड लैंड, बाकी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स हमारे पास हैं। उस जजमेंट को एक हफ्ते के अंदर ये अध्यादेश लाके अगर ये टर्न डाउन कर देते हैं तो ये आम आदमी पार्टी तो बहुत छोटी सी पार्टी है, हम तो बहुत छोटे लोग हैं, ये तो सीधे सीधे केंद्र सरकार सुप्रीम कोर्ट को चुनौती दे रही है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट को चैलेंज कर रही है कि तुम जो मर्जी ऑर्डर कर लो, तुम्हारे सारे ऑर्डर हम 2 मिनट के अंदर ऑर्डिनेंस लाके बिल लाके सब खत्म कर देंगे।
However, in its May 11 ruling, the Supreme Court had clarified that the executive powers of the National Capital Territory of Delhi will be subservient to the executive authority explicitly granted to the Union by the Constitution or through legislation enacted by the Parliament. Currently, the Arvind Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party finds itself entangled in multiple scandals, with some of its prominent leaders, including cabinet ministers, facing corruption charges. Therefore, it became necessary for the centre to pass the ordinance in order to prevent the Kejriwal government from potentially misusing administrative control over NCT government officials to shield those involved in corruption. A notable example of this concern is the swift transfer and removal of IAS officers within a week of the Supreme Court's May 11 judgment. Those officers were engaged in investigating corruption allegations against AAP leaders. Kejriwal's desperate actions to insulate the tainted members of his government reveal the underlying motives of the Aam Aadmi Party. In a bid to garner support for defeating the bill related to the centre's ordinance in the Rajya Sabha, the Delhi Chief Minister is now seeking assistance from the very parties he previously accused of engaging in corrupt practices. If this does not serve as a clear revelation of Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party's true colours, it is hard to imagine what would.